It is the final day of the season, decision day, and midnight becomes the decision time. LA Galaxy 2 with its future in front of it and maybe the past looming as well. Welcoming Orange County SC, and we welcome you. Phil Shane alongside Dylan Kerr with you tonight. We're glad that you have joined us. Phoenix Rising have been dominant so far this season. Orange County looking to join them at home in the first round of the playoffs, but they've got San Diego nipping at their heels. As you see, Oakland an early lead in their game, and LA Galaxy 2 have fallen out of the playoff picture. Tacoma could pass them as well. Taking a look at the playoff scenarios, LA had been hot. They need to get hot again.
When you have a coach that's got such young players, and that's Junior Gonzalez and all the boys from LA Galaxy 2, you look around the room, Phil, and you wonder, how do we make this group better? He simplified the system is basically what he did. Okay, you take a look at the first team and try and mimic their ways, but as the season went on, he picked up injuries, international rotation. He drops into 2 flat blocks of 4-4-2. They went 5-1-1 over 7. The problem is they're coming off back-to-back losses. Now this becomes a character-building exercise against an Orange County team that is ticking at a very high rate. Simple. Win and you're in. There are a lot of scenarios around you. Remove the white noise, go out for 90 minutes, get a result, and then you can start thinking about playoff time.
Again, you take a look, Oakland already leading, so a loss could eliminate LA. For Orange County, meanwhile, they couldn't get much hotter.
No, they've been great, and they've finally gotten depth within this team. It's something they've struggled with all season long. You look at the beginning of the year where Adam John immediately goes down. You didn't have the services of Seth Kasipli and Evolson finally coming back. 2 out of 3 of your attacking options to help out has been great. And of course, you've got Damas, who's got 14 goals to his name this season. But for them, this is much bigger than that. There's the midseason coaching change. Yes, there's the depth. This is about now getting their fans the number 2 seed and home field advantage in that first round matchup. Same thing here, win or draw, and they get that number 2. Otherwise, they're gonna need some help from the teams around it because San Diego Loyal hot on their heels.
They could get some help from Sacramento. They're hosting San Diego tonight. LA, Los Dos taking on Orange County, and we've got the kickoff coming your way next. The playoffs on the horizon.
Return it, Cabral split in between the defenders. Kevin Cabral, a chance. Cabral scores for the Galaxy. One end of the field to the other. They take the lead late in the half. The sequence is crossing, flying to his thoughts, got Chicharito. The acrobatics,
Head coach, Greg Vandy. Our holistic view of development is to help the kids reach their potential. But through that process, we also believe that we can give all of your sons the tools to be successful at anything. This is the pathway really at LA Galaxy, right? A journey starts for many players at this young age. Part of the getting there process is to learning to be resilient and to learning to adapt.
You know, our job is to support your sons. When you grow, when you go through your growth spurt, peak height velocity, we want to reduce the volume and intensity of the work they do as they're going through that.
Now, the way we talk about emotion is not in the sense of feelings, but the energy that you're actually feeling inside your body.
Our passion is the kids, and I think it shows. I think you guys appreciate that, and it shows every day.
return it, Cabral split in between the defenders. Kevin Cabral, a chance. Cabral scores for the Galaxy. One end of the field to the other. They take the lead late in the half.
The cues ready, and right now Ronald Demus is ready as well, and he is the danger man for Orange County. Take a look at this LA lineup, and they have some veterans that they will be keeping an eye on. Justin Vom Steeg, very promising goalkeeper, and they have some healthy bodies back in front of them.
Junior Gonzalez having a little fun here, though, with a holding midfielder and 3 center backs on that back line. Vasquez finally back out injured 33 minutes into the game that started this demise against the Charleston Battery in that 3-1 loss. That was back-to-back losses. Cameron Dunbar back into the mix as well. A lot of midfielders, a lot of attacking options moving forward, but can they maintain that sort of consistency we saw in that 7-game stretch, Phil, in that 5-1-1? Orange County SC, Richard Chaplow, they make 2 changes. Rob Kiernan onto the back line. Kobe Henry will slide over into that right center back spot next to Michael Orozco, and Dylan Powers will drop in underneath. Watch the defensive blocks where they sit, and the pivot up top with Damas and Hugo Akoli.
Just about ready for the start here. As you can see, Jorge Hernandez and Preston Judd, who might not have a golden boot to shoot for, but maybe a bronze one. He's shooting for a top 5 finish with 17 goals, the 22-year-old out of Las Vegas. Mentioned the Moose on the other side. Haitian picked up out of Dallas with 13 tallies. Both of these teams can score, and we're expecting some goals tonight. Ricardo Fierro checking on the side, ready to get us started. And there's the whistle. Well, they got the jump, and now they'll have to do it again. Maybe just a little over-eager. The 405 Derby has belonged to the Galaxy. 16 wins against just 8 defeats, and this year unbeaten in their first 3 matches, but this is the one that counts. Phil Shane alongside Dylan Kerr, and we are glad you've joined us tonight. LA Galaxy 2 against Orange County SC. Very familiar teams going toe-to-toe. It is Los Dos, the LA reserves, moving from the right to the left in that white with the black numbers, wearing the white shorts, the blue jerseys, and the orange trim, Orange County SC. Poor pass slotted right in for Orozco, trying to turn it upfield, the Finn Kuningas. Now they'll play it back. Dylan Powers out wide on this side. Expect to see him camped out in the middle of the park, though, right?
It'll be interesting to see defensively where they end up tweaking this look going forward, given what Los Dos has brought to the table here under Junior Gonzalez. And there's a good look at one of his boys.
Jonathan Perez, the 5'6", 18-year-old, former U.S. Youth International, now a Mexican Youth International, and an LA Galaxy homegrown player. Back out wide on that wing where he can cause so much problem. Back into the middle. Speaking of homegrown players, the teenage defender Marcus Fercranis up this near side. Orange County getting it back, and Michael Orozco launching it forward. The teenager steps up to parry it away from Sean Akoli. Knotted down near side by Jesus Vasquez, who at the outset seems to be playing as a left back here today.
I kind of wondered what that would look like for them, because you have Jalen Neal, Marcus Fercranis, and Vasquez, all very talented in their own right, but also all very traditionally out center backs. Sitting on the inside of that defensive front, Carlos Harvey being introduced as an outside back was an interesting tweak as well, and they have flip-flop sides. But more importantly, you do have, as you mentioned, some veterans, and Vasquez at just 26 years of age will sit himself into that spot.
Pass slips through the defense, trying to chip it forward. Jonathan Perez gets it back top of the 18. Hernandez and Judd camped out near the top. Daniel Aguirre also moving in towards the box. The ball batted in that direction, but parried away by Kobe Henry. Now out. Orange County coming forward. Who would you imagine has the pressure to try and hit the gas pedal more? Orange County fighting for second, or LA Galaxy, who now know, because of what's bouncing, as that one comes off the arm of the referee, a little sympathetic, now that they'd already know Oakland leading in their match?
Oh, it's definitely got to be Los Dos, and the fact that they are out of playoff position. They won't know that coming in, though.
Ball forward for the dynamic Preston Judd. The big man takes a shot, parried away on the German Rakowski. It's going to be a corner kick here for LA. Good look at Junior Gonzalez, former Bruin. Very familiar with what Richard Chaplow's going through. Stepped in last year as the interim coach for Los Dos. Got them to the playoffs in both of his first 2 seasons. Chaplow trying to hit the glory days again. Lowering his head was Judd. Off a defender, they'll head back to the flag and try it again. Jorge Hernandez trying to set the stage. Launching it into the edge of the 6, diving back to Moose to get in front of Judd, but he'll surrender another corner kick. Hernandez putting the ball down, getting set to get it back into play. Talked about Orange County still looking for their first win of the year against Los Dos. Near post 6, flying in Kevin Alston to head it away, but only white shirts around. Back into the mix from Dunbar. Little miscommunication, and Rakowski late calling off the dogs. That could have been embarrassing.
And already, just 5 minutes in, they giving you a real good idea of what they're trying to do. Eric Calvillo has pinched out to the left side. We've seen him do that on the right as well. But with the pairing of Brian Olowski, that gives you the versatility, Phil, within the inside, that you have 4 guys very capable of playing on the inside, 3 of which, though, that can rotate out. Kaningas, Calvillo, Brian Olowski, all of which have occupied spaces on the outside throughout the season. And this is part of that tweak that I talked about, where he'll drop down into a 4. Richard Chaplow, ask his guys defensively to make sure that, you know, the lines are still covered, so the depth on the inside is closed. You're making sure that you're pushing everything to the exterior and that you've got coverage, but still have that support once it's turned over and getting out.
Perez sweeps it across, but Judd was in the middle. That one sails harmlessly wide. You can see Dunbar pinching in. And a lot of movement from LA Galaxy 2 when they get the ball in transition. Richard Chaplow trying to make sure his team stays focused defensively. 2 wins and a draw this season for Los Dos against OC. Last time they met, it was actually down in Orange County, and LA coming away with a 3-2 win. Daniel Aguirre with the game winner. Up here in Los Angeles, just 2 of the 12 have gone Orange County's way. Again, as you mentioned, Dylan, in the pre, it's a draw that could be good enough to get them second. Trying to make the turn to Coley. Dunbar into the middle, sweeps it through, chested back to Rakowski. And calm under pressure, the veteran Kevin Alston. Stripped away. Good work. Carlos Harvey looking into the middle. The chance from short range. Dunbar met it at the spot, but he couldn't meet it clean. Orange County has to consider themselves a bit fortunate.
You get a real good idea of how quickly things change for this Los Dos squad in transition. You alluded to it a second before, a little step up off the back line by Carlos Harvey. That's what you get by putting him there. But with the addition of Cameron Dunbar, watch him cut to the inside a lot. He'll challenge on the interior. He wants the ball on his right foot.
Rob Kiernan showing some peace when everything around him was going crazy. That pass just off the mark for Perez. It'll be a throw in near the stripe for Orange County's veteran left back Kevin Alston. We'll try and keep you up to date on all of the other action going on in the Pacific. We already know Phoenix is the top team, and they'll take on the 4th team from the Mountain Division. Los Dos
with the loss by El Paso Locomotive to RGV. A little bit of a shocking one. Phoenix Rising have now won the Western Conference officially.
Ball launched in high. We'll get to that in a moment. Damus on the receiving end, and that one just goes wide. There you take a look. Austin over Charlotte. By the way, a little typo in that one. There's still about 10 minutes to go. Saw New Mexico getting a victory as they jumped into the top 4, but Rio Grande Valley getting the job done. Right in front of the referee and right on the center spot. Foul against Aguirre, and free kick upcoming. Talked about the possibilities at the start of this one, Devin, and it could be very simple if Los Dos win, but with 3 teams involved, it could get very complicated before the night is over.
Which is obviously one of my favorite things, being how gifted as I am as mathematics. And we had some fun breaking everything down, and there's a ton going on around you that can affect you from a mental standpoint, but Junior Gonzalez is so great at removing the noise and just saying, hey guys, all we can do is worry about ourselves. As mentioned, outside of the back-to-back losses, 6 out of 7 prior, 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, and that 1 loss was to a team that's pretty quality in themselves. San Diego Loyal, who is chasing this Orange County team down. They're doing battle tonight against Sacramento Republic. And it's the, okay, if I draw, I do this. If you lose, you do this. There are a ton. And so just to save yourself, go get 3 points if you're Galaxy 2.
It will flash up in the corner the scores as they come in. We'll also keep you up to date on what's going on with the standings at the half and the playoff brackets as well. Chaplow signaling out to his back line. Ball launched, sliding across. Jalen Neal, who has been brought down, shot blasted into the back of the net by Damus, but the whistle had already blown. Jalen Neal, one of those homegrown defenders. So a pair of 18-year-olds as your center backs. Probably not what a normal coach would like to have at this stage of the season with the playoffs on the line. But talked to Junior Gonzalez this week, and it's just par for the course when you're playing as part of a system. And they do have a lot of talent, but they still have to prove themselves. Nice ball by Olaski, makes the run. And Ingus sending it wide on the far side for Alston.
It's just business as usual within this organization, even with the addition of Greg Vanny into the equation as head coach coming over from Toronto FC. And, you know, I asked Junior Gonzalez about that. Traditionally, you see from the top all the way through the academy ranks, they want to mimic each other. You want to keep the same philosophies so that when you get a 14-year-old stepping to the 18s and 18 jumping into the MLS squad or whatever area they get the opportunity to showcase themselves at, Phil, you want them to have a real good understanding of what they're going to get involved with. But they changed that identity. The most important thing, though, throughout that, when Dennis DeClosa got involved and Junior Gonzalez came to the table, he said, guys, I'm not going to be able to get these guys competitive if we stay in this fashion. So here's what I'd like to do. And to his credit, Greg Vanny sat there, he listened, he said, okay, Junior, we trust you as long as you keep the identity of what this organization looks like from top to bottom, from back to front, and we're all moving in the same direction together. I don't care if you play with 1 defender and 10 strikers. Go get results, and let's see what happens. And they've done exactly that.
Taylor Davila dropping it back, now up to Daniel Aguirre. To the front line. Out wide, Judd, 6'3" center forward. Not really known for his dribbling skills. A little push on Olaski as he gets frustrated and stripped, and a foul and a free kick for Orange County. By the way, did see that result for San Antonio. That clinches second place in the mountain for them. Colorado Springs falls to third. Still a battle going on for fourth in the Mountain. And again, that's important because that's who the Pacific teams will be facing in the next round. But for LA, the danger is if they don't get a victory at the moment, they'll be watching it on TV like the rest of us.
Think about that too for Orange County, that if they can get a result, get a win or get a draw, they sit in the second spot. They'll get a home field game, and then guess who comes to town? Haji Berry. The leading scorer in the USL Championship this year. Didn't break the record, did tie it at 25 regular season goals set by Cameron Lancaster of Louisville City in 2018. He was able to replicate it, but the dry spell over the past couple of games followed him once again to San Antonio Toyota Park. It's a fantastic result by their defensive squad.
By the way, there you see Ferkranis expecting Vasquez to push forward and passing it to nobody. Makes Junior Gonzalez pop off the bench and try and calm down the 18-year-old. So much talent in the championship, Devin, and you talk about Haji Berry, and a lot of it on display here today. 15 minutes in, no score. A little feeling out at the moment. Reaching out to grab it, Davila. Former Cal Bear spins back to his left. And it's just launching it long, trying to find Dunbar, and does. All across for Neal. Into the middle, Aguirre. Back to Ferkranis and across. Nice ball into the midfield, and Los Dos trying to probe and poke and push the defense into position. Let's see if they can take advantage here. Davila lays it off. That is Dunbar. Cuts inside. Haven't seen much of Jorge Hernandez yet. Maybe a chance here. Tries to spin away, but Coningas stripping it away, and a whistle blows. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select, the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Back for Kobe Henry. Former U.S. Youth International. Looking to make the jump to the under 18s or 19s. A little hot off the heels. Coningas can't hold it. Chance from distance. A little bobble as Hernandez denied by Rakowski. And the German first to the loose ball.
Nice of Jorge Hernandez to introduce himself into this game. Quarter hour mark just past us, and he's having a little trouble getting on the ball right now. Dropping down underneath Preston Judd, and the reason being Dylan Powers recognizing it when he is having to take shape there defensively. That little pocket of space, pinches over, gets on the shoulder, and then you've got quality pressure from the two center backs. That little triangle, he's got to find a way to work himself out of that. You're either going to pivot up top next to your striking partner in Preston Judd, or you've got to move yourself out of the middle. Stop being so centrally located. See if you can combine with guys like Dunbar and Perez on the outside.
Ricardo Fierro bringing this one to a stop. Chaplow doing a little teaching on the sideline. Of course, he's got some coaches on the field as well. 4 30-year-olds and a 28-year-old keeper. Orozco and Alston on the flanks, 35 and 33 respectively. And Dylan Powers slotting into the middle after making the jump from Dundee United to come back home. Headed away by Ferkranis, but he'll surrender the throw. Vasquez doesn't look that comfortable on this left flank at the moment, but he seems to be there to provide a little defensive support and allow Cameron Dunbar to push forward at his will. Ball across to Powers. Out wide for Alston. Hoosier back to the former Fighting Irish mid. Up for Damus. Two players instantly jump on him as he's forced backwards. Orange County in a bit of a feeling out stage, Devin. But good discipline from the Galaxy defense. Tucked into the middle as Hernandez drops. Aguirre looking for an opening. Too hot to handle for Cameron Dunbar.
You can see how comfortable LA Galaxy 2 are on the ball at their feet. They're just not on the same page when they are moving back to front. And Jorge Hernandez, I mentioned him dropping down underneath Preston Judd. They're following suit as well in the relationship between Aguirre and Davila on the inside. It's that little swing which is helping them lock down Route 1 and not allowing Orange County to play through the middle. As you see Ugo Akoli coming deep to try and receive it in his frustration. Problem is they don't have the same representation outside.
Turning shot goes wide. Van Steeg pulls away and lets it go out for the goal kick.
Some of the balance they've lacked over these last two matches. As mentioned, quality stretch of 7 games, just a 1 loss in there, and then all of a sudden you run up against what you thought would be a pretty easy matchup in theory, but you go cross country, the immovable object that was Charleston Battery back on October 20th, and then the fight from Wade Weber in the Pacific Northwest of Tacoma Defiance. Late surge by Preston Judd to bag himself a couple of goals, but too little and too late. 3-2 loss.
A lot of physical effort involved, but it is a mental game. Saw that on display earlier today in the Mountain Division playoffs. Very similar situation for Rio Grande Valley as it is for Los Dos here today. Ball poked away. Powers flies into the challenge. For Kranis comes away, but it's Orange County that comes away with the ball. That one looked like we might need a stretcher. Here comes the Galaxy back into the middle, but off target was Dunbar. Feeding the front line, the Moose, but he's stripped nicely as Taylor Davila coming back to play defense. New Mexico took an early lead. Austin also had a lead against Charlotte, but they were held, that game drawing to a close. Ball slotted wide. Judd sends it across, but Jonathan Perez can't get a touch at the back post, inches away from an opening goal.
Not much more you could ask for if you're Junior Gonzalez, and the slow build and then the quick reaction inside the box here. You slice, you dice, watch the ball down to the inside, and then the immediate stretch all the way to the back post. Good look from Jorge Hernandez. Perez inverts himself. Can't get the touch off. Much better from the youngsters.
Not a bad ball from Judd, who's normally on the receiving end of those. Ball launched in, but headed up and over. Just off target from Harvey. And again, getting back to that, just as the Galaxy taking on a pretty strong side in Orange County, Rio Grande was taking on division leading El Paso and blew them out of the water 4-1 to clinch their ticket to the postseason. That's who Phoenix will be playing. And El Paso will be playing whoever finishes 4th in the Pacific. And at the moment, that's not the Galaxy. Surprised a bit by the early going, Dev?
Within the game or within the madness around the league?
Let's focus in on Dignity Health.
I'm not surprised at what's playing out. It's more in which the fashion it is.
Shot sails high and far.
I thought the team sheet selection was really interesting from Junior Gonzalez. We've talked a little bit about it. Vasquez onto the back line, who always so good leading from that left center back spot. And when you have so many talented attackers in a Ronaldo Damas, in a Ugo Akoli, Brian Olofsky pushing through the middle, the list goes on and on for Orange County. I was surprised they didn't keep him on the inside. And you've mentioned how he looks a bit uncomfortable. I don't disagree. The counterpart to that argument is, I would make the same argument on the right side with Carlos Harvey over there. So you're lacking a bit of balance. You've got 2 young center backs. you've also got a lot of guys who are more than capable of putting this ball on the deck and moving into rotation a lot, and that is one of the big pieces of the identities for Los Dos. Orange County sort of slow to really reach an up-tempo within this match. They're on the road. They're also very understanding of what's at stake in the sense of, yeah, they would really like to get 3 points on the road, but they don't need that. They need 1 point in order to secure the #2 spot. And the fact that you haven't seen them really open it up 24 minutes in shouldn't be that surprising.
Maybe saving it in reserve for a needed late push, perhaps. Bumped from behind by Kuningas, and down goes Perez. Free kick for Los Dos. Soccer fans looking to attend the biggest and best LA Galaxy matches for the 22 season, you can now secure a 2022 partial plan deposit. All plans include special rates and priority purchasing access for playoffs and discounts at the LA Galaxy team store. Call 877-3GALAXY. That's 342-5299, or email ticket plans at lagalaxy.com today. 25th minute. And Jorge Hernandez getting set to launch this one with the left. Good with the dish, but also pretty good finding the net. 12 on the season. Drives it in, flicked on into the area by Neal, still loose in the 18, and 2 white shirts down. They get the ball back. Dunbar blasts it to the near post. Rakowski comes over and slaps it wide. Quick reaction from the German keeper to deny.
I told you, keep an eye on Cameron Dunbar. He's so good in tight spaces. We know what he can do with tons of real estate in front of him, but watch his right foot head up the entire time looking to pick somebody out. He says, you know what, I'm just going to go myself. And they've read the scouting report. They know he wants it on the right peg, and at the last minute, the quick little pivot back, trying to pick out that near post.
This will swing in. No one guarding either post at the moment. Fierro having a chat. You can hear one of the Los Dos players talking about a defender trying to trip. Strange things can happen on set plays. So far, every set play has come off the boot of the Riverside native. Been with the Galaxy since 2017. Sweeps it to the center, punched away Rakowski. Still inside the 18, but a poor touch by Davila. 27th minute. Powers, Colorado and Orlando mainstay before heading to Scotland, and now back to Orange County. Big pickup, and Junior Gonzalez said those are the types of moves he can't do. Those decisions above his head. But Orange County, looking for a championship, thought they needed some help, and Powers has been a big part of their turnaround. Orozco back towards goal. Acoli keeps it alive. Out wide for Calvillo, the Salvadoran, in for Acoli. But pressured from behind nicely, taken away by the Galaxy. Aguirre thought he saw something, but Alston gets there first. Just launches it into the corner as it gets away.
It is truly amazing how many things are going on around the league. We never get a sort of quote-unquote decision day. That Austin draw, it's a great result for the Bold. Possibly the last game ever at Bold Stadium. The problem is with that draw, that's not going to be good enough, because guess who came to town? El Paso Locomotive at RGV, HEB Park, the place where dreams go to die. And RGV stepped up, knocked it out of the park by dismissing El Paso Locomotive. They also said, sit down, Austin, and good night, New Mexico United. They're eliminated.
Ball dropped back. Aguirre slots it through, but Rakowski first before Perez can pounce. Taking a look at some of those scores you were talking about, there are two other key matchups here today. One of them went head-to-head in the Central Division for the top spot. Birmingham hosting Louisville City, who came away with a 1-0 victory to win the division. Meanwhile, there are two teams that are fighting cross-division, looking for the top spot overall, which could mean hosting the USL Championship final. Phoenix taking on Tacoma, and Tampa Bay coming out west to take on LA. Both of those matches currently tied. Tampa Bay, Las Vegas in a 1-1 draw. Still looking for our first goal in Phoenix, as we are here in Los Angeles. Shot from long distance. Vom Steeg wants to get his uniform dirty, but no real need to worry.
Keep the goalkeeper honest, and those two draws right now, Phoenix-Tacoma, 0-0 in the 30th minute, and the Las Vegas Lights Tampa Bay Rowdies game. What you have to remember is, if Phoenix gets a win, it's not enough for the Rowdies to draw, because the head-to-head tiebreaker goes back to that unfinished business matchup earlier this season. They need the Rowdies to lose, which doesn't happen very often, and then Phoenix would be able to host at Wild Horse Pass.
Well, strange things happen in Vegas, and what happens in Vegas, well, might end up in Tampa Bay. 30 minutes in, quarter hour left in the first half. Another free kick upcoming for Jorge Hernandez, and it looks like a little paperwork from Ricardo Fierro. Smile on the face of the 20-year-old mid. Mentioned he joined back in 2017. Not a bad way to debut. He was the Academy Player of the Year. So they've had an eye on him from the beginning. Headed away by Demu. Now launched wide and just over the crossbar. From a distance, no problem for Rakowski. That's Jesus Vasquez wearing the captain's armband again.
Well, good news is for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, they don't have to worry about creeping back into things, because Phoenix Rising, we are getting word, has just gone down 1-0 in the 31st minute. Guess who? Samuel Adeniran. That kid can fly, man. He's awesome to watch for Tacoma Defiance. All muscle, 100 miles an hour. And on the road, he's got his team out on the front foot, 1-0, approaching halftime. That Phoenix Rising team has been struggling recently.
I'll talk about those top teams. And again, those top brackets were pretty much clinched earlier this month. But Birmingham falling against Louisville City today. El Paso losing. Tampa Bay being held by an already eliminated Las Vegas. And now Phoenix falling against Tacoma. Is it just them resting up, getting set for the postseason?
No, they've been struggling for form for quite some time now, Phoenix Rising.
Rolled out wide for Dunbar. Drives around Orozco. The cross off target, though, and it's out for the goal kick. A wasted opportunity for Los Dos.
Sort of funny when you look around the league right now, Phil, and who's in really good form. The Tampa Bay Rowdies went on that ridiculous unbeaten streak. Of course, the consecutive shutout record, both minutes and games set this season. And even though they are struggling on the road, they have to be one of the teams you look at. Their counterpart, the #2 team in the Atlantic Division, Charlotte Independence, all the literally world-class talent that they've added. Guys from the Premier League winners in recent memory. Louisville and Birmingham, always. I like San Antonio a lot coming out of the Mountain Division, and not just because of their victory tonight. I like the seeding. And believe it or not, I like this Orange County team. I think they manage games very well when you look at what they have in terms of personnel, the experience, and that man right there, Richard Chaplow at the helm. This is a team, they don't wow you. You know, they're not going to score 3-4 goals in a match, but they're very disciplined, and they can eke out some victories, which you are going to need come postseason time.
Getting set to launch this one in. Giri plays it square. Now lifted in by Davila, headed back into the middle by Neal. It looked good on paper, but it doesn't quite work out on the green. And it looks like we might have a player down. O'Neill towering in on that header at the back post. And looks like we're about ready to get back underway. The excitement just beginning. The 2021 USL Championship playoffs presented by Twin Spires begin Friday, November 5th, continuing all weekend long. Who will take their next step toward glory? Find out next weekend on ESPN+. By the way, Los Dos better be careful because they could be in 6th if they don't wake up. Oakland taking a lead over Sporting KC. We saw that one. We now have Tacoma with a lead against Phoenix. And if you're Junior Gonzalez, do you try and keep things calm at the half, or do you try and burn the house down?
I'm staying right where I'm at right now. There's not a massive cause for concern for what's going on within this game, Phil. They're not really being tested on the defensive front. Most of the chances we've seen have been half chances at best, strikes from distance to see if Vomsteeg's still in his slumber, which we know is not the case. A little bit frustrated with some of the decision making come tempo time when you cross over midfield. The ideas are there, but I would just say that the execution a tiny bit off, and when they have broken through a Cameron Dunbar or Hernandez, it's not like they're really close. They've been heavily off the mark, you know, spraying 30 yards right of goal and 15 yards up over the top. That's the area that you really want to clean it up right now.
On the offensive side, interesting, Damus has gone out wide on the right. Okoli has slid in, maybe giving the former Cincinnati and NYC attacker a little bit of a breather. Meanwhile, on the offensive side, we haven't seen anything from Preston Judd in a while, at least since that ball that he sent into the middle that just missed being tapped home. Stripped away nicely by Aguirre, but Hernandez and Perez can't get down the line. It'll be a throw-in right in front of the Orange County bench. 10 minutes or so left to go in this opening half. Again, at the half, we'll update you on all of the scores, a look ahead of the playoff bracket. Neal. Back to Aguirre. Nice pressure from Orange County. Davila handles it well. Off to Neal. Strong push out wide by Calvillo. The Salvadoran forced back. In for Powers. Sent across, and Kobe Henry up the line for Orozco. LA catching its breath a bit. Orange County, as you've pointed out, seem quite content with the score as it is at the moment. Okoli, as Damus has slid back into that center forward channel. Orozco pushing up on the right wing. Sent for Powers, giving chase, and he actually does get there, but no sympathy from the assistant.
Richard Chaplow has changed again, though, with that pairing of Okoli and Damas up top. You do retain the ability to pull him to the outside, specifically Ronaldo Damas, and as he comes to the right, Dylan Powers just tucking himself underneath Miko Kamingas and Eric Calvillo. Olasky has slid over to the left-hand side now. So what was that very traditional flat floor? Now you have a bit more depth on the inside. They were concerned about some recent representation for Los Dos.
Aguirre trying to cut to the middle, but stripped by Powers. Dished out wide by Calvillo. Looking for an opening, Olasky. Tries to drag it around. Good defense from Harvey, but the ball falls for OC. Diving header Vasquez, won back by Orozco, and neither team able to find the handle. Harvey sending it long. Judd takes the bounce. Little change of pace as he tries to turn the corner. Staying with him was Henry. The drop for Davila, and he can't find it. Actually, it was Hernandez who was dispossessed. They get Judd involved, but they can't find a shot. Pulaski in a collision. Referee right there, no whistle. Davila. Vasquez. As you mentioned, injured a couple of games ago, missed the last one, both of them losses. The captain back out there again, trying to get back to that good run of form on that 8-match stretch that lifted them back into playoff position. Junior Gonzalez talked about, and you've been bringing up some switches for Orange County, the switches that he has had to make earlier this season. As you can see, not a lot of impetus from OC. Sixth corner for Los Dos. Out comes Rakovsky, gets both fists on it, but not with much conviction. Calvillo trying to come away with it, but stripped away by Davila. That is out wide. Harvey's there if they can find him.
Check all the blue jerseys, though, right at the top. Really difficult to come through the middle, and you can hear some of the shouts on the outside. Junior Gonzalez wants the ball just recycled faster. That's fine if they're going to make you stay on the outside. You just have to attack from another angle, and don't stay in one particular area for any elongated period of time. That's one of the issues they're having right now as they are building, because it's that much easier to reset defensively for Orange County. Talked about the change on the inside, Phil, and how they've dropped Dylan Powers underneath, but they've still got flat four because you've got Ugo Okoli up top. That's easy in theory because you've still got space on the outside, but they're not attacking quick enough. So you go side to side, and then you got to release faster.
From the starting lineup, almost as though Junior Gonzalez was thinking about going with a 3-back to try and get some width to feed Judd in the middle, but with Okoli and Damos up front, it's too risky. Up the middle, Calvillo slips through for Okoli on the near side. The former Demon Deacon looking for an opening, stripped away, down he goes. Right in front of the linesman who says fair play. Aguirre leading the break. Wide for Hernandez. And this is what you were talking about. Credit to Orange County, although that one sneaks through. Hernandez back for Aguirre, and Powers with just enough of a touch to take it off his boot. Different Dylan Powers than we might remember back in his MLS days, where he was the one that was bursting through the seams. Now he's stitching him back up again.
I would say that the same poison that's plaguing Los Dos and some of their vision moving forward lacks an antidote for Orange County as well. Good job resetting themselves, and as the turnover comes, they're really content of just stepping on it and slowly making their way forward. I will say they are one of the teams that when compressed into a 30, 35, 40-yard span, they're one of the best at breaking down what's in front of them, but to a fault at times of slowing it down to a halt.
Tucked inside for Damus, poked away by Ferkranis. That's going to trickle across for a corner. Orange County can score goals, although not as many, 12 less than Los Dos. However, defensively, they have given up nearly 20 goals fewer, so they have to feel pretty comfortable that they can keep this one close, and if needed, find a goal before it's all over. Just, you know, in this strange game of ours, sometimes you reach for the switch and you can't find it. So a waiting game for Chaplow, and they've held off the Galaxy so far with just 2 minutes left to go in this opening half. Kaningas across Headed clear by Vasquez. Out wide again. Trying to calm it, Davila, and he does. Aguirre far side, rifled up the line, but that's asking a lot. And Alston jogs over to bring it back. 10 points separate these two teams in the table, but nothing separates them on the scoreboard at the moment. Roscoe. Little give and take, dropping it back to Kobe Henry. Can watch the match. Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watson, Devin Kerr. Hey, I know that guy.
He's overrated.
Every Tuesday night, 7 Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. I don't know if I'd say overrated. The Mad Hatter of soccer, probably a closer description. Ball back for Alaski, who's been quiet. A little back heel try from Orozco when a simpler pass might have done better. Long ball out for Judd, who gets tangled with two, and Powers again there to snuff it out. Alston. Inside for Caningas, and again, Orange County trying to bring the pulse of this game down a bit. Long ball up the middle, though. Sliding in, Orozco, who stayed upfield, but shepherded off the ball by Vasquez. 1 minute added, and only about 40 seconds of that remain. Orozco quite familiar with this field. One of the biggest ones in soccer. 120 yards by 75. A lot of real estate to cover, and this first half draws to a close. No goals and nothing decided at the moment, although for Los Dos, there's two teams more they need to jump over if they want to stay in the playoff hunt.
Junior Gonzalez has to be happy that they were able to test Patrick Rakowski, but second half has got to turn the heat up. With Tacoma and Oakland doing their business and doing it well, they need more intensity, quicker decision-making, find the back of the net, because there's so much talent from Orange County, and the fact that you've kept Damas and Ugo Coley quiet does not bode well for the second half tempo. They're going to come with full force.
When we come back, a check on the scores, but first we'll also take a look at the standings and the way the playoffs would happen if these scores stand. The Galaxy need to change it if they want to change history, and Orange County looking to welcome the playoffs at home. Stay with us.
Trying to return it, Cabral split in between the defenders. Kevin Cabral, a chance, Cabral scores for the Galaxy. One end of the field to the other. They take the lead late in the half.
Head coach Greg Van. Our holistic view of development is to help the kids reach their potential. But through that process, we also believe that we can give all of your sons the tools to be successful in anything. This is the pathway really at LA Galaxy, right? A journey starts for many players at this young age. Part of the getting there process is to learning to be resilient and to learning to adapt.
You know, our job is to support your sons. When you grow, when you go through your growth spurt, peak height velocity, we want to reduce the volume and intensity of the work they do as they're going through that.
Now, the way we talk about emotion is not in the sense of feelings, but the energy that you're actually feeling inside your body.
Our passion is the case, and I think it shows. I think you guys appreciate that, and it shows every day.
Turn it, Cabral, split in between the defenders. Kevin Cabral, a chance. Cabral scores for the Galaxy. One end of the field to the other. They take the lead late in the half.
No score right now. We'll get to the highlights in a bit, but catch the final home match of the Galaxy season. And November 7th as your LA Galaxy take on Minnesota United. Be here at Dignity Health Sports Park for Fan Appreciation Day. Visit lagalaxy.com/tickets to secure your seats today. Take a look at the live standings in the Pacific. Phoenix, even if they do stumble, uncatchable. Orange County staying ahead of San Diego, while Oakland and Tacoma both passing Los Dos. And the tiebreaker head-to-head goes in favor of the newcomers, the Roots, who are laying some roots in USL. So Tacoma even needs a little help right now. All the Galaxy needs is a goal. Take a look at the way the bracket would look for the USL playoffs at the moment. You see El Paso up at the top. Oakland would face them. Orange County would welcome Colorado Springs. San Antonio taking on San Diego, and Phoenix against Rio Grande Valley. Tampa Bay with the top spot against Tulsa, Birmingham, and Pittsburgh, Charlotte, and Memphis, Louisville, and Miami.
What an amazing first round matchup that would be for Oakland Roots, who have been fantastic here in the second half of the race in the 2021 campaign. El Paso Locomotive unbeaten at home and an opportunity to go on the road. Be a fantastic upset. I love that Orange County Colorado Springs matchup, by the way.
And Miami, one of the hotter teams down the stretch, but Louisville just pipped Birmingham for the central top spot. So much to still be decided. And in fact, we've got another 45 minutes here and more action as well with Phoenix, Tacoma, Sacramento, San Diego. We're yet to know who will be the representatives in the Pacific Division, scoreless at the half.
Today, as you step onto the field, you step into your purpose. You step strong. You step hard. Con toda la fuerza de mujer. You step up.
There's hit on the line! Oh, he put it in! A magnificent strike! You go down, you come back, and you find a way.
Goes topics. I mean, yeah, this time stop it. Today we're gonna go topics.
Roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to Sirius XM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?
I am a first-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Yeah, hey, how you gon' feel when I take it? How you gon' feel when I take it? We about action. We about action. Tell me how you gon' feel.
There's hit on the line! Oh, he put it in! A magnificent strike! You go down, you come back, and you find a way.
Tell me how you gon' feel.
The sequence is crossing and flying to his basket. Chicharito! The acrobatics!
Soccer fans, LA Galaxy excited to announce season tickets for the 2022 MLS season now on sale. You'll learn all about what it means to be part of the Galaxy community. Joining in as an LA Galaxy season ticket member, call 877-3GALAXY. That's 342-5299 or visit lagalaxy.com/since96 today. Well, plenty happening on the field tonight. There's a few things happening off of it as well. Again, TwinSpires stepping in to present the USL Championship playoffs, which get underway next week. And from a player perspective, Devin, well, at least they have a pretty good idea what the playing field's going to be like.
I'll take it, right? The CBA approved finally. It's something that the USL Championship and this league itself, the organization, has needed for so long. And what players are going to be involved all comes down to that 21 USL Championship final, November 28th, 8:30 p.m. Wonder if Delta Airlines allows leftover Thanksgiving food on flights. I need to check into that.
I have a feeling you'll sneak it on anyway. ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and SiriusXM FC, where you can follow it. Take a look at the scoreboard right now, and here are some of the games that are going on or have just finished. Austin held to a draw. Rio Grande Valley clinches a spot. San Antonio clinches a home game. Oakland right now and Tacoma doing their best. And down towards the bottom, Sacramento and San Diego still awaiting our first goal at the half.
Phoenix are in trouble of dropping points in 3 of their final 4 games. And none of it matters, though, if you can't get a victory of your own, because the Tampa Bay Rowdies have just gone ahead in the second half against Las Vegas Lights. They are up 2-1. Hats off to RGV. Adios to Austin Bold. And this is what it would look like right now if results hold in the Western Conference. Orange County, Colorado Switchbacks, that'll be interesting. I mentioned how cool it would be for Oakland Roots to go on the road. What a story if they could knock off El Paso Locomotive, who hold not just an unbeaten streak at 13-0-3 at home in the USL Championship, they've got the longest unbeaten streak in North America right now. Pretty impressive.
Meanwhile, Rio Grande Valley just knocked off Locomotive tonight, so why not do 2 in a row if they take on Phoenix? And San Antonio and San Diego also set. But again, we're still not sure. Oakland holding on to the final spot by a thread. Can they hold on to their lead? Will Los Dos come back and give them something else to write about?
Got to return it. Cabral split in between the defenders. Kevin Cabral, a chance. Cabral scores for the Galaxy. One end of the field to the other. They take the lead late in the half.
Head coach, Greg Van. Our holistic view of development is to help the kids reach their potential. But through that process, we also believe that we can give all of your sons the tools to be successful in anything. This is the pathway really at LA Galaxy, right? A journey starts for many players at this young age. Part of the getting there process is to learning to be resilient and to learning to adapt.
You know, our job is to support your sons. When you grow, when you go through your growth spurt, peak height velocity, we want to reduce the volume and intensity of the work they do as they're going through that.
Now, the way we talk about emotion is not in the sense of feelings, but the energy that you're actually feeling inside your body.
Our passion is the case. And I think it shows. I think you guys appreciate that, and it shows every day.
Got to return it. Cabral split in between the defenders. Kevin Cabral, a chance. Cabral scores for the Galaxy. One end of the field to the other. They take the lead late in the half.
Working our way towards a championship final, but you got to get to the playoffs to get there. And right now, The LA Galaxy 2 need a little bit of help. Take a look at the highlights from the first half. They were the aggressors for much of the game so far, Devin. Take a look here. Just 6 minutes in, the ball stripped away by the converted fullback Carlos Harvey. And a good opportunity. Cam Dunbar can't find the net.
Was really impressed with the quick little steps coming up through, because it wasn't a press at all. At times it was a high defensive line. At times it was just the individual efforts and one-on-ones. Cameron Dunbar, we've come to see better and know better from him. Wish he could have that one back. Let's fast forward to the 17th minute. We were asking for more out of Jorge Hernandez. We would get it off his left foot. Tries to go from distance. Rakowski keeps getting his bay. How about the response from Orange County? Where was that going to come from? The tit for tat on the right and left, that was Brian Olowski and Eric Calvillo. It's the former. Olowski comes back to the inside, gets it on the left foot. And as you can see, nothing really troubling Vom Steeg. Preston Judd kept quiet for the most part of the first half. Watch him rotate to the outside here. He's normally the one looking to get on the end of these things, but great vision on the back post run, trying to pick out Jonathan Perez just wide.
Take a look at that run by Perez, trying to stay on side when he actually had some extra space. Beautiful ball across that probably should have been buried. And as you see, just touched away at the last moment by the youngster Kobe Henry. Here's the stats: 14 shots, but the only 3 on target coming from Los Dos, who have the edge in possession. Just the one offside for Orange County, and at the moment, no goals for either team. That's good news for Orange County, who won't feel blue about that one at all. Meanwhile, for LA Galaxy, falling from 4th to 6th. The good news, though, Devin, there's still 45 minutes more to play.
I think the other part of that is that it doesn't really matter where you have the ball, it's what you do with it, right? You look at an Orange County team that was really efficient in that first half, and yet nothing to show for it. LA Galaxy 2, they switched it. Similar amount of passes, similar on the passing accuracy, but the verticality of their threats much more apparent. Finding your Jorge Hernandez's, your Preston Judd, and your playmakers in Cameron Dunbar. They want to continue that here in the second half. Richard Chaplow going to his bench, trying to find a way to provide more opportunities on the offensive front.
And Kasipli checking in. That will shake things up in the midfield a bit. The San Diego native stepping onto the field to start this second half. And the player who exits, Miko Kaningas. Kaningas 3 goals, 4 assists so far on the season. Kasiple with zeros in both accounts. Maybe just some fresh legs, or perhaps a chance to allow Calvillo a little more room to roam. Orange County starting things out, defending the goal towards the right. The white of Los Dos moving from left to right. Phil Shane alongside Devin Kerr, and right now for the LA Galaxy, the playoffs, a distant dream. And that distance just 1 goal away. Devin, how do you think Gonzalez talked to Los Dos at the half?
He's going to ask them to just continue down the same path that they showcased in the first half, Phil. And, you know, a team that is so disciplined on the ball, you can really see the thoughts that start at the academy level and then work their way up the organization, and how, you know, this team wants to be on the ball. They want to challenge you into really difficult spots, and they want to have the numbers to do it when they start to go in transition. We saw all of that in the first half. A little bit of execution lacking, some decision-making tweaks that need to happen here in the second to make sure they are more efficient when they move into the final third. But if I'm Junior Gonzalez, I'm not going to be overly upset, especially at the fact that Orange County and all the talent they have moving forward could not put the ball on frame. He's got to give them a nice pat on the back for that one.
Meanwhile, for Richard Chaplow, you mentioned in the first half, quite content knowing this would be good enough to clinch second place. How much do you think he stressed, or did he stress at all trying to get a goal and put this one to bed?
They're not going to be overly worried about it because they will be scoreboard watching, and what you're seeing right now is the MO of this Richard Chaplow team. They go about their business. Sometimes it's a little bit boring at times. They certainly don't wow you in a lot of areas, but they also don't disappoint you a bunch. I would actually say from a defensive standpoint, they struggled a lot in that first half. More so than we've seen in recent history, especially under their manager that took over for Braden Cloutier right around the halfway point. And you know, I would just say that the spacing was off for them. They switched systems a couple of times in that first half, and when you start to tweak that often, it's very difficult for players to carry a collective thought process. That's what plagued them in the opening 45 minutes.
And how does Kasipli change things in the lineup for OC?
You won't see him rotate as much to the outside as you saw someone in Kaningas. And not that Kaningas was out there a lot, but he does give you that look. With Seth Kasipli, he would pinch to the outside when they used to play in a diamond last year under Braden Cloutier. But this look now is going to give you a more traditional look defensively. They had a problem on the inside at the end of the first half, so he'll put him next to a Dylan Powers, still looking to combine. I would expect to see more of a deeper role out of Dylan Powers as this half goes on with the addition of Kasipli, because they're very similar in nature, but Kasipli gives you that stretch into the final third as the number 8 that'll hover about 40 yards out.
Nice ball back to Damus, who's popping back to his feet. Sent across the middle, just gets away, and a chance now on the break for a defending Jonathan Perez. Long ball through that's going to find Preston Judd, and the big man, one man to beat, cuts to the inside, favoring the pass, the shot down low and right into the waiting arms of Rakowski from Dunbar. So good counter from Los Dos, but again, the shot right at the keeper. Kobe Henry. Holoski giving chase. Carlos Harvey keeps it in play, and back to the youngster Neal. Powers with a little backspin. Damus nodding it down. Calvillo is stepping forward a bit more now. Kasipli keeps it alive, and it's out wide. Orozco into the middle, falls for Damus. Trying to stop and block was Harvey, and he does get enough of it, and wide.
I'm gonna go back to the Galaxy chance and the little Meg on the inside, and then the great distribution down into the corner. I love the fact that Preston Judd earlier this year, he goes one-on-one, and he's selfish about it. Instead, this is the evolution of a young striker at the professional ranks recognizing that he can't do it all himself. Little cutback across, he waits for the support, finds the trailing runner at the top of the 18, and they're able to get a chance off.
Again, a good setup, maybe deserved a better shot. Long ball just a little too long, and the veteran Irishman Rob Kiernan over to push it wide. Gonzalez bursting off the bench for a moment. Doesn't want to miss the playoffs. Los Dos haven't much in their career, making it 5 of 7 seasons. And he's made it both of his. Coley again slotting in the middle. Damus, 6 years his junior, so fresher legs perhaps. Covering on that right side. Harvey. And that one trickles across. You see some substitutions loosening up on the sideline. At what point does Gonzalez look to the bench to try and get an offensive spark?
Especially with the start here for Orange County and bringing Kasipli in. They have rotated more into that traditional 4-3-3, which you and I spoke about. You'll see the deep lying move by Brian Olofsky on the left. That's nothing that's overly game changing. The difference is Eric Calvillo on the right hand side. He's got a lot of work to do defensively because they're asking him to be that out and out right midfielder, but still come back to the inside and lock down the middle.
Nice by Perez to keep it alive. Advantage played. Shot towards net, but just wide of Rakowski.
If I'm Junior Gonzalez, I'm looking down exactly how I can find game changers to really continue forth the efforts put forth in the first half. Adrian Gonzalez is someone that comes to mind who, like, he's not going to stretch the game in a ridiculous manner, but he is going to allow you to solidify the midfield, a place that they're struggling with right now. But he traditionally goes a little bit longer in his thought process. Well, he'll extend this game to that 65th, 70th minute mark and then start to look to his youngsters, see where he can get some help from.
Juan Calderon, really the only forward available on the bench. Put so many of them in the starting lineup. Still looking for their first goal, and a goal that would turn the playoffs upside down, or at least in the Pacific. Ball slotted across. Perez again with some room to roam. Harvey hitting the accelerator. Actually has to wait for the ball, but dishes it back, and too much on it as it carries across the goal line. Just one touch away. Good build-up by Los Dos, but nothing to show for it.
That one touch away has really been the story of this entire game for LA Galaxy 2. Once again, shifting side to side. Look at the speed start to explode as you move forward. Carlos Harvey, this is not a bad idea. Just got to take a bit off of it. That's something from a midfielder out of position, trying to link up with some of these guys moving forward, and Jonathan Perez.
This could be a bit of a concern. Looks like there might be some cramps. Jorge Hernandez. Well, actually, this one looks more like he might have gotten stepped on. Hernandez, the 20-year-old from Riverside. Again, it is 5th season in the Galaxy system from the academy. And I'm sure he's hoping all the way to the senior side before too long. 12 goals on the season, but he's tried to play provider today.
There are a bunch of the boys that are right there within the talking points of the LA Galaxy organization. Some that had the opportunity to go spend time in the bubble down in Orlando at MLS's back last season. Guys like Carlos Harvey. Cameron Dunbar had actually signed his homegrown prior to that anyway. So many talented individuals that feels like it's next man up whenever they need them here, isn't it?
A few of them have migrated up their way onto the senior side, and that really is the job of Junior Gonzalez. He knows it, but he also says part of that lesson building for these young players is to learn how to win. They've done that as well over the years. Alston sending it in long. A little push from Powers. 10 minutes into the second half, and from an Orange County perspective, a few chances that have gone awry from the Galaxy, but OC has kept them at bay. Stepping up Damus to try and knock it free. Kranis just blasting it long this time. Dunbar flat-footed, and Powers there to pounce. Take a run through the scores again in just a little bit. Everything focused on the Pacific and the overall regular season championship. At the moment, Tampa Bay with a lead over Las Vegas, and Phoenix trailing Tacoma. Again, it's more than just pride. There's also the benefit of home field for as long as you stay alive. Regular season table does decide who is playing at home. Stepping up Orange County, seems like they might have tried to turn the accelerator forward a bit. Alston launching it in, back post, flicked on by Ferkranis, the 6'1 youngster. Blasted back in by Orozco. It's off the captain Vasquez and out for the throw. Only other game with a goal that's still going on. Oakland still leading SKC 2, 1-0. So Oakland, Tacoma, LA. Oakland in, Tacoma and LA left wanting. There you see, 88th minute. The Roots doing all they can. Let's see what the Galaxy can do here. Judd trying to deliver, sends it across. Back comes Kasipli to intercept, and he nods it wide for the throw.
Preston Judd's not happy with some of the movement, but that's one of those balls, Phil, that just because you can ping it across the field doesn't mean you should. And there's daylight. But even if your guy's able to bring it down, it's 3v1. You know, Orange County had tracked back and really locked down that corner. There's no reason to hit that 30-yard ball, step on it, ask for help from someone like a Jonathan Perez or a Carlos Harvey, and then try and build together.
Davila stripped, Harvey gets fouled. The other point being, Judd's 6'3". Shouldn't he be the one in the middle?
You would think, but think about all the movement we've seen out of him over the course of the game. He's been much more comfortable rotating to the right side because he's frustrated. He's frustrated because on the inside there's no space, so they can't play into his feet. There's not enough room on the backside to play up over the top direct, so he's coming out to try and get the ball more. Got to find a way to play off of each other.
Driving it in, Hernandez. Alston just a touch. And it's wide of Vasquez and out for the corner. Galaxy have had their share, but in all honesty, they really have not had a goal-scoring threat from these corner kicks. Mentioned earlier, it was Hernandez taking them. Daniel Aguirre going over to take this one. One of those players who jumped up to the senior side back in July. Redwood City native will swing this one in towards Rakowski. Headed clear by Kiernan. Launched back by Hernandez with a little extra spin. Perez with a blast. No bother for the German. And it looks like a change coming. 16 for 23. As we have reached the hour mark, Kobe Henry's day is done, and this is a little bit of a surprise. You normally don't want to make a change on that back line if you don't have to, but didn't seem to see an injury. Henry leaves, Brent Richards steps in.
You have a legend that is Orozco. Easy enough to just bring him back. That's been the preferred pairing for Richard Chaplow over the course of the season in totality, even with injuries.
So Orozco will slide in, and Richards will slide out. A little awkward touch by Jalen Neal, but Stieg out to grab hold. And now Los Dos pinging it around the back as they look to build. 2021 season comes to a close with the USL Championship final taking center stage. Watch as a new champion crowned on Sunday, November 28th on ESPN and ESPN Deportes, or listen on Sirius XM-FC channel 157. Neal on the receiving end of that challenge.
Just to give you an idea of what's going on elsewhere, interesting that Phoenix Rising losing to Tacoma Defiance. As we mentioned, Tampa Bay Rowdies are up against Las Vegas Lights 2-1. Phoenix Rising just took Santi Moar, Solomon Asante, Darren Maddox, and Aiden Quinn off the field. That's incredible. That basically just said, we're done, we're not interested, we're gonna keep everybody healthy, we're not gonna get the #1 overall, we're gonna fight this uphill battle the rest of the way, and they are fighting that every single time they step onto the field recently, because it has not been pretty. No rest for the weak and weary, and they said, yep, well, we may not be playing well, but we're certainly not going to be weak. Weary possibly. Let's give these guys a break and see if we can get back at it next week.
Well, the other point, we'll get to it in a moment, launched inside Damus. Oh, and he had a chance, but his hair got it, his head didn't. Second effort denied, Okoli on the doorstep, and he can't find the handle. Damus with 2 cracks at it. It took a stellar stop from Van Stieg, but Okoli unable to unwrap the gift. Devin talking about that before the game. Okoli creates and is involved in so many chances. None perhaps as easy as this.
Just can't finish it off, and what a header this is by Ronaldo Damas and a save by Vom Steeg. What does Okoli have to do to put this away? They don't get much simpler, but that's been the story for him in 2021.
Getting back to that Phoenix game, talk about all those players they took off, but think about it. They had all those players in the starting lineup. Full credit to Tacoma's Defiance defense for keeping them at bay. But it's still not good enough to make the postseason because Oakland closes the door. They got a victory. There would have been a chance with a three-way tie for Tacoma, but that's no longer possible. Losky pushing up, dishes wide for Okoli. Sends it back past a flashing Ilosky, and the former Bruin just didn't see it in time.
There's the creativity aspect once again, though. Over the left side for Ugo Okoli, coming out of the middle. Great idea to tuck this in and then immediately hit the afterburners to try and get on the end of it.
Making a run inside is Judd, looking for the big man. He gets a glancing header, and this one just skims past the post. A clash of heads as Alston tried to defend, and he lands awkwardly. Judd and Alston both trying to put the pieces of the puzzle back together, but a golden opportunity for Los Dos. You could hear Gonzalez screaming to his team from the sideline. Judd's back on his feet. Alston, hey, at 33, everything's going to hurt tomorrow. It's just happening a little earlier.
That's class on the handout by Preston Judd, though. He knows it's just two gladiators going to battle. Lovely weighted ball to the back post, and Preston Judd, much like what you saw on the other side by Ronaldo Damas, just trying to go up and make a play. Good challenge by Kevin Alston on the back end, and to your point, those stingers last a little bit longer, don't they?
Gonzalez finally letting his breath out after Okoli's inability to score. Ready to cheer down on the other side, but Judd missing by a few inches his 18th goal of the season. About Damos, no real surprise. In fact, full credit for Orange County for plucking him away from North Texas, where he was the Golden Boot winner in USL League One, and proved that was not a fluke. 14 goals, 3 assists this season. Almost had his 15th there. Well, looks like both teams taking it up a notch here. Midway into this second half. Down to our final games of the regular season.
Next one.
We'll update you on those games that just finished. But at the moment, no score here, no score in Sacramento with San Diego, and just the single goal Tacoma leading Phoenix. Jalen Neal. Marcus Fercranis. Jesus Vasquez. Forcing it up the line for Aguirre. Ball retreating, and Brent Richards dispossessed, trying to find Damusat wide. Launched long by Harvey. Dunbar switched over to this near side as Perez has gone to the far flank. Come on, screams Junior Gonzalez. You can see another change getting set for Orange County as Thomas Enevoldsen, the veteran Dane, will come in for Sean Okoli, and Enevoldsen, some veteran leadership here down the stretch. 11 caps and a goal for the Danish national team. back in his younger days.
They're just hoping that they can find a way to break this deadlock against LA Galaxy 2. Really put a lockdown on that number 2 spot and see if they can send Los Dos packing. And it's going to change them once again with the addition of Enevoldsen into it. Thomas pops himself up top. Traditionally, you will see Thomas Enevoldsen just underneath, pick up from the midfield, collect. Loves to get the ball and make these darting 40-yard runs to run directly through the back four.
Through ball into the middle, pushing forward a little more as the game progresses. Carlos Harvey. Gonzalez rolling the dice a bit. Dunbar back into the mix. Threaded into the middle. Alston appears to be okay as he clears it with his right. Simply back towards midfield where the Galaxy bring it under control. For Kranis though, stripped, reaches out, seemed to have a little touch on Damus, but not enough, says the referee. The Haitian international lost his footing, or he might have had the ball.
I saw some contact there, hands out away from the body.
We'll take a closer look if we get the chance, but looks like we could see our first Galaxy subs on the sideline.
Looks like a line change to me. It's wrong sport for sure, but.
Well, they might give them sticks if they could.
Right. To be fair, we do have 5 subs now, so that's an easier thought in this day and age.
Remy Cabral, the French international, among those getting set to check in. Nice reach out by Kranis, but Damus almost took it off his boot. Now with these subs coming in for Gonzalez, does he pull out a holding midfielder and roll the dice? They need a goal or the season's over. Maybe pull out a fullback even. Kasipli sending it along. Alston, 33-year-old veteran, still has some spring in his steps. But the pass back intercepted.
The only thing I change right now, I'm actually not going to bring Carlos Harvey out. I leave him in there because it does give you that option that you were just referencing. You can play him higher and you don't have to go to a traditional back 3. You want to make sure that you still have good looks on both sides, that the equation isn't unbalanced in one area. And so with Harvey, you can bump up a little bit higher. You still have a real good guy in a ball handler that can cut back to the inside, and you've got the speed in Cameron Dunbar. I'm putting on another high offensive-minded player, like a Cabral, like someone who's good with the ball at his feet, and a Victor Valdez on the inside to try and play off of each other and see if you can find some more movements because of the way that Orange County is lined up, because with all their shifting, they have left themselves exposed.
Hernandez does even more, cuts to the inside, tries to find the shot. Alston stays with him and blocks it as it spins across the goal line. Good work by Hernandez, but the old veteran stayed with him. And it looks like that's going to lead to some changes. Adrian Gonzalez looks like he might be the other player checking in. So Gonzalez and Cabral off the bench. And looks like Hernandez is going to head over to take that corner kick. Player coming out, Daniel Aguirre for Adrian Gonzalez. Into the final 20 minutes. Sent long, brought down by Cabral. Not a bad way to come off the bench, but the shot leaves a bit to be desired. Adrian Gonzalez, the 18-year-old born in Santa Rosa, but a Mexican youth international. Got his start in the Pachuca Academy before jumping to the Galaxy. It's up for Cabral again, battling Alston. The two get tangled, but it's going to be called against the Frenchman. Alston getting just enough position. And it looks like it was Cameron Dunbar who is the other player who exits. So Dunbar out for Cabral, Aguirre out for Gonzalez.
And they'll slide Jorge Hernandez to the outside. Remy Cabral will drop up next to Preston Judd. None of that means anything for Orange County right now. This is all about the Oakland score. Oakland Roots have done it. 3 points, the 1-0 victory against Sporting Kansas City 2. Virtually, this team is the number 4 in the Pacific Division. They have moved themselves up quite nicely over the course of the second half of this season. You love to see what they've done in this run. Is it going to be enough? There's 18 minutes for them to hit the playoffs and their franchise year. Magnificent.
Again, what a great story it was in their creation, even back prior to USL. Many thought, nice story, but now you're going to have to learn a few lessons. Looks like they've taught a few.
Oh, and how about the fact that San Diego Loyal just scored? So not only is Los Dos out of the playoffs right now, but Orange County drops down to number 3.
And that could put the pressure on Orange County to find a goal here, which makes the Galaxy's job even that much more difficult. They get the point if they hold. Hard hit far side, Orozco down, and a yellow card. Orozco grabbing his right ankle. 35-year-old veteran. Got his start right around the corner at Irvine with the legendary Strikers before jumping south of the border to start his professional career with San Luis. Looks like it might have been Preston Judd who went in a little too hard. Piero with a caution.
Yeah, my apologies, Phil. Sorry, the numbers flying left and right, up and down, side to side. 1 and 1 equals 3 in my brain right now, with the results holding, to Orange County. They have to lose in order for San Diego to leapfrog them. As we mentioned, coming in, a win or a draw keeps them at that number 2 spot.
Much simpler for the Galaxy. They need a goal and a win or they're done. Oakland has jumped past Tacoma and Los Angeles. They hold on to that final spot. Again, Tacoma leading at the moment as well, but with the strange quirks of tiebreakers, those two, if they did end up level, Oakland would have the tie-breaking edge head-to-head. And by the way, that might be a moot point, because even though they pulled off their superstars, it looks like Phoenix has just tied things up. So Tacoma, once they realized it was over, a little bit of heart coming out and rising into the postseason. So what have we learned tonight? Louisville grabbing the top spot in the Central, Tampa Bay grabbing the top spot and the number 1 seed in the league. San Antonio holding off Colorado Springs, Rio Grande holding off the rest. And at the moment, Oakland with maybe the surprise Cinderella story of the USL Championship season. Powers a little overeager. Looks like Calvillo has gone a little further upfield, but now drops back. There you see the Oakland score. Cabral brings it down, but slammed back up front by OC. Namus giving chase.
That little cutoff right there for Adrian Gonzalez, trying to find a way to get on it. And Taylor Davila and Evoltson, as mentioned, just sitting underneath. Thomas doing a good job of cutting out that ball right through the 6. And if you notice, they're just Trying to build from the outside. They have no way to cut back through the interior. Heck of a challenge there by Kasipli.
Right in front of the referee, and Adrian Gonzalez sent for a loop, and the yellow card coming out. Vieto averaging about 5 cards a game. 1 red this season and 3 penalties. By the way, maybe a sign of things to come was those have not won any of the 3 matches that Vieto has officiated this season. Here comes the Moose running into space, and what a tackle. Taken off his boot by Jorge Hernandez. Didn't know he knew how to play defense. Now back where he belongs. Alston sliding over. Everything getting pulled out of shape. Screaming for it, Judd, but having a blast of his own was Perez. Gets it back. Perez surrounded by blue jerseys, looking for an opening, and he'll have to settle for the corner. But no, they're going to say it came back off the Mexican Youth International, and a goal kick for OC. Might not have been a goal-denying challenge by Jorge Hernandez moments ago, but it would have put Damus in on Van Steeg's net. Over Damus. Avillo giving chase. You pointed it out from the outset, Devin. As many chances as LA have had, Orange County a very frustrating team to go up against.
Look at the back line itself. Kevin Alston, Rob Kiernan, Roscoe, and Brent Richards. Legends in their own right, guys who have represented this country at the highest level. Loose men's national team in Roscoe, Gold Cup back in 2013, won the Liga MX with Puebla in 2015, and now trying to find a way to lead his team into the #2 spot in the USL Championship, while Los Dos is just holding on in anything they can to try and find that 4th spot. The problem is they have to win. With the result in Oakland, the 1-0 over Sporting Kansas City 2, Chuy Enriquez in the 2nd minute, all of a sudden 10 minutes to go or your season's over.
Sacramento just tying things up against San Diego, but again, the Loyal need LA to help them climb into 2nd place. Brian Olowski saying the ball's gone a little flat. The linesman says, who cares? 3 goals, 4 assists for the 26-year-old. Drives it inside, but can't get it past that near post. Davila heading it away. But the Blues coming right back with it. Powers, Olowski. Crossed in, nodded down towards the top of the box, but a late step up by Powers, and now maybe out of shape, but will it stay? It does, and if so, 3v2. Cabral making a run. Judd screaming for the ball. Into the middle for Judd, who had the goal at his mercy. But the dreams hit the crossbar.
This is beautiful from the beginning all the way till the end. Outside of the woodwork. What vision to pick out the perfectly timed run on the back post. Who else could you want on the end of this thing? Preston Judd just leans right through it, takes a little bit off of the ball, off the crossbar. Lady Luck is shining bright in Oaktown right now.
This one should be 1-0 LA, and Judd knows it. That is start with SKC2 until he was drafted in the 2nd round by the Galaxy. And he has been a revelation this season. A miss like that, practically unbelievable. Will he get another chance? And what a service. Jonathan Perez sending that one across. Judd, thanks to Cabral's run, wide open. And he doesn't miss many of those. Here comes Harvey again. Out wide, Hernandez. Drives it for Harvey. Dishes in for Judd, but again, too hard on the pass. Soccer fans, you looking to attend the biggest and best LA Galaxy matches? In the 2022 season, you can now secure a 2022 partial plan deposit. All plans include special rates and priority purchasing access for playoffs and discounts at the Galaxy Team Store. Call 877-3GALAXY, that's 342-5299, or email ticketplans@lagalaxy.com today. Will that be the way the dream dies? Could provide a spark as well. Orange County may be getting a wake-up call. Out wide for Alston. Well settled by Jalen Neal. Youngster back to Harvey. Deflection with a little spin on it. Orozco flies up from his new center back position. Simply into the middle. Shot from distance by Olaski, and it doesn't miss by much. "15 matches today. Only one has ended scoreless. Will this be the second?" Perez. Oh, what a stop by Rakovsky. He was leaning to his right, dives back to his left, and slaps it wide of the post.
What do you have to do here to buy a goal, honestly? Great little dissecting run, got multiple options, and the Blue Sea just parts ways, and the next thing you know, the big German's stepping up. Those are the moments, Phil, where you get an idea why Patrick Rakovsky represented his country at the youth national team level all the way up until just before the senior squad. Magnificent from about 20 yards out.
Got his start back at Nuremberg, and right now they're glad he's settled in Orange County. He's come to the rescue several times so far today. That one may be the biggest, and here another chance for Judd as he splits the back line but can't split the pipes.
Everything that's got Orange County to this beautiful run that they've been on is actually coming back to bite them right now. I talked to you about the flat shape of them coming in, how they've been able to lock down the wings and still create depth on the inside. That's not the case now, and the tired legs of your veterans on the back line struggling to maintain the tempo that's being put forth by guys like Preston Judd, Remy Cabral, and Jorge Hernandez.
What a ball from Adrian Gonzalez to split the two center backs. And Judd, who maybe thought he took a little too much off the one that hit the crossbar, tried to put a little too much on this one. Will he get another chance? 5 minutes plus added time. And it looks like Casiple, who just came in the second half as a substitute, has just been substituted. As he's slapping fingers on the sideline, it doesn't look like there was an injury, so kind of have a feeling Richard Chaplow trying to stop the leaks. Lifted in. Damus giving chase. The youngster, Neal, doing well to force the Haitian international wide. The slide keeps it in. And now finally tied up. The referee letting them play. Calderon, the only true forward that was left available coming in.
Have you missed? How many advantages have you missed?
And you could hear the screams from Gonzalez on the sideline saying that the play should have continued. He wanted advantage. Calderon, the 17-year-old winger from Riverside. Maybe the last gasp of the Galaxy. So they've taken out a center back. Jalen Neal athletic enough. And Vasquez could slide in as well, and it looks like that's what the captain has done. Junior Gonzalez blowing a gasket on the near sideline, and now he is in the book. Does he have anything to argue about, or is he just frustrated?
Well, he's upset because he was trying to get the ball for his teammates and multiple people on the sideline standing in his way. And I'm pretty sure he's barking at the fourth official. I'm going to be real careful here. Everything that's going on, you want to make sure that you can continue to steer your troops in the right direction. Interesting little change. Adrian Gonzalez switching over to the outside back spot, and Carlos Harvey, who's been chasing all game long, gone in next to Taylor Davila. Not happy with all the speed up top that's being exposed. And Ronaldo Damas is the one who's providing that presence.
Meanwhile, it looks like Vasquez has dropped back alongside. Sloppy ball up front. Orange County now against the numbers, passing it in for Damus, but he's going to have to track it down. Again, this would be good enough for second place. Anything else just gilding the lily. Ridden off the ball by Neal, looking for some sympathy, and he's not going to get it from Ricardo Fierro. And again, most referees will let them play this out rather than be accused of influencing the result. Gonzalez cuts to the inside. Checking back Judd, they'll play it square. Covering out wide. Looks like Calderon almost as a wing back. Gonzalez again. Launched inside for Judd, kicked back, but it finds the net on a beautiful shot from Cabral, but the whistle had already blown as Orozco was fouled in the box.
It's not a bad little idea coming back in. Preston Judd, coming from a restricted position, is on the back shoulder of Orozco. How much contact is actually made as he drifts in over the left side? Right there. It's the arm. To be fair, he probably could have gotten away with a little nudge. The problem is the arm is extended away from the body. Referee can pick that out from a distance.
And again, it was down low that he set up Cabral for what could have been a game winner. So a final 10 minutes that Preston Judd will not want to see on the game film. Down goes Damus, and you can see the Orange County bench now erupting. A yellow card, and I think that goes to the bench. Long ball forward. Neal. Vasquez looking, threads it past Enof Olsen. Foul called against Orange County. 5 minutes added, and we are into stoppage time. Well, we have not had any goals, Devin, but it has been an entertaining affair, to say the least.
I'm pretty sure we're far from over, partner, with these 5 minutes to go here. All the chances that have been created. 5 times Galaxy have hit the frame, and almost every single time Patrick Rakowski has been the one to push them off.
Couple spectacular saves.
19 shots overall, incredible. They just continue to apply the pressure up top, but some needless giveaways, some poor decision making, and the fact they couldn't just close it out in some areas. Preston Judd comes to mind recently off the crossbar.
Nice outlet from Van Steeg. Harvey trying to thread it through, but he couldn't find Cabral. And here comes Orange County again, back to the veteran Powers. Cabral with a little bump. Orozco. Alosky, who has slid over to the right side here late. Victory for Oakland, lifting them up into the top 4 in the Pacific Division. LA, with a convoluted playoff scenario at the start, knew the easiest path was a victory. Can they get it? Just over 3 minutes of added time remain. Again launched into the 18, but too far. And Rakowski will take his time getting this one back in play.
got a feel for him. 3 minutes and counting, and everything that has gone on this season down to one finite moment. How special can you be when asked upon you? They haven't been able to answer that question tonight with all of the opportunities that have been created. Got to be real careful here too. When you go too direct, you remove some of your best attributes from any of the positive talking points that have been the run prior to these back-to-back losses. Remember, 5-1-1 over 7 games. They didn't change their philosophies. They tweaked the formation a little bit, but they stuck true to their principles. And now, on the brink of elimination and a 3rd consecutive loss.
Meanwhile, full credit to Orange County. They knew what they had to do, and so far they've gotten it done. And if they can hold on for 2 more minutes, they will get a home match to start the postseason. Credit to Ronaldo Damus as well. Damus, maybe a handful of shots, one golden opportunity that Vom Steeg denied. But he has drawn a lot of physical attention from the Galaxy defense. Quickly started by Vom Steeg as they send it out the other way.
Higher line, bodies up here. They're much too deep. Send all your shirts forward and got to be cleaner on the ball. When they've moved in to the attacking half, they have given so many opportunities away.
Damus trying to steal it away. Sweeps it inside. Oh, and he overran the ball. And it's buried by Anna Volson. The ball found Adrian Gonzalez, but he couldn't clear it. And then he handcuffs himself, and the Dane with a great finish for OC and slams the door shut on Los Dos.
There's a lot of answers given in one fell swoop. The direct ball up over the top. Let the guy who's guided you all season long. Damus gone on international duty, coming back, retained the same form. And your fallen compatriot in Enid Volson, the MCL injury earlier this season, finally gotten his way back. He was magnificent in his first appearance. They've been searching ever since. They get the goal. They'll grab the number 2 seed. Oakland Roots have assured themselves the 4th spot, and LA Galaxy 2 will bid adieu to the 2021 USL Championship season.
There's still maybe a little shouting to go, but it would take a miracle. 2 goals in whatever injury time remains. Maybe you could see a minute added, if that. And you think of all those opportunities denied by Rakovsky, missed on the doorstep, and a patient waiting game from Orange County seems to have paid off. Cabral keeps it alive, wide, slammed away by Alston. By the way, it was Tommy McCabe, the substitute who came in for Kasipli, who sent that one upfield for Damus. The ball out, and Volson, referee lifted the whistle, thought he might stop it, and Volson continues to run. And now before Los Dos can launch another attack, the final whistle to end the season. A near perfect game plan with a little bit of help for Orange County's Richard Chaplow, and for Junior Gonzalez, a frustrating way to end the season.
You just heard it right there, the exchange between the 2 head coaches. Richard Chaplow trying to wish him best of luck, and that gives you an idea of being focused on what's in front of you. Junior Gonzalez responds and says, we had to win. They gave themselves a lot of chances, but those opportunities have passed them by. The Pacific Division is set. Phoenix Rising won. No matter what happens in that San Diego Loyal game, right there, Orange County have been brilliant over the second half of the season. They will sit at 2. Loyal will be 3, and your 4th team will be Oakland Roots. It is much too little and much too late for LA Galaxy 2. They will finish outside of the playoff bracket looking in.
3 straight defeats to close the season. What might have been First time that Junior Gonzalez has not been able to guide Los Dos through. And just the second goal of the season for the injury-plagued Anna Voltson. But boy, did it come at a good time for Orange County. We'll be back to wrap things up. LA Galaxy 2-0, Orange County 1.
Got to return it. Cabral split in between the defenders. Kevin Cabral, a chance. Cabral scores for the Galaxy. One end of the field to the other. They take the lead late in the half.
Head coach, Greg Vanderbilt. Our holistic view of development is to help the kids reach their potential. But through that process, we also believe that we can give all of your sons the tools to be successful in anything. This is the pathway really at LA Galaxy, right? A journey starts for many players at this young age. Part of the getting there process is to learning to be resilient and to learning to adapt.
You know, our job is to support your sons. When you grow, when you go through your growth spurt, peak height velocity, we want to reduce the volume and intensity of the work they do as they're going through that.
Now, the way we talk about emotion is not in the sense of feelings, but the energy that you're actually feeling inside your body.
Our passion is the case. And I think it shows. I think you guys appreciate that, and it shows every day.
ESPN Plus, your home for the USL playoffs that Anna Voltson has made sure Orange County will be part of. Join our experts as they break down every match of the championship and League One playoffs presented by Twin Spires. The playoff preview show Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, only on ESPN Plus. And I know, Devin, you're looking forward to that. Not sure you would have picked all of the teams that would have made it, but we had an interesting finish.
It was definitely interesting the way things finished out, and let's take you all the way back to the beginning of how we got there within this respective match. LA Galaxy 2 hosting Orange County SC with the opportunity to move into the postseason. Win, and they were in. Unfortunately for them, it did not end up in that fashion. And let's go back to the beginning of the 90 minutes, Phil. A lot of opportunities for LA Galaxy 2. We talked about that. Here's one of them. Great step through the inside. It's a bad touch by Kaningas, and then off to the races. Cut back on the left foot, and there's one of them. How good was Rakowski tonight?
Well, here, denying the opportunity for Jorge Hernandez. 81st minute, and a golden chance. Doesn't get much better than this. Watch the late run from Judd.
All you're asking for is Preston Judd, open space, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and you hit pay dirt. Instead, flat on their faces. It's not very often you see this young man fall away from an opportunity and not bury something like this. He did it at Cal Baptist. He did it at Denver. He did it all season long. Just couldn't do it when it mattered most. That one's off the crossbar. And then from distance, again, Rakowski, the big German. This is game, set, match right in the upper corner. What a save by the goalkeeper.
Leaning to his right, back to his left a moment later. And they were at it again. The Moose trying to pressure the Galaxy, and their substitute, Adrian Gonzalez, with a gift of a pass.
And the first one comes off the crossbar. The second one doesn't even hit the frame. That had to exemplify what's gone on over the past 3 matches for LA Galaxy 2. It was the loss at Charleston Battery. It was the loss against Tacoma Defiance. And then the way that the game was panning out, there was a momentum swing between minute 75 and minute 90. You felt like, okay, with the substitutes, with that youthful exuberation, they're going to be able to get out here and get their game winner. Not the case.
McCabe, long ball up front, and Damus does the rest.
Yeah, great job by the striker, and then step in by Anna Voltson. Damus ball back across, Anna Voltson back of the net. Orange County number 2, LA Galaxy out.
And you look at Jalen Neal, who was nearly foot perfect for 94 minutes. Unfortunately, the match went 95. And for Orange County, taking advantage of a desperate Los Dos, and here's the way things stand. They started the day in 4th. They will finish in 6th. They were 1 goal away. However, it was Orange County that ended up getting it. Phoenix fights back for a draw. San Diego held. We'll take a look at the bracket, but that means that Orange County will start at home for the first time since 2018.
It's a mess, too, and we're going to get an opportunity if you join us on that playoff show on Monday to talk about some of these, like an RGV, who have won 3 games in a row, taking down a team like El Paso Locomotive in the process. There are only 4 losses on the season. RGV has done it twice. How about San Diego Loyal stumbling in against a hot San Antonio? Orange County, a bit quiet, just going about their business against one of the best offensive teams in Colorado Springs, Switchbacks FC. And how about the debutantes, Oakland Roots, have assured themselves at least 1 playoff match. They're going to go on the road to the longest unbeaten home streak in North America in El Paso Locomotive. It's going to be a great one.
Louisville, meanwhile, pipping Birmingham at the buzzer to grab the top seed in the Central. They'll be hosting Miami. Final score from Dignity Health Sports Park. And with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, Los Dos see the season come to a close. For Orange County, it moves on. Thomas Enevoldsen, his 2nd goal of the season as he comes back from injury to score the goal that clinches 2nd place. So many opportunities for both of these teams, but it was Orange County that was able to get the job done. For Devin Kerr, I'm Phil Shane. It's LA 0, Orange County 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.